My brothers and sisters, you are now watching the Gamer 2323, so just forget about the chores you're supposed to do. Put your feet up, get your Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, get whatever you may need! And I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, what's going on, people? So, whose New Year is already off to a horrible start? Anyways, I forgot to do my favorite, well, I didn't forget, but I just didn't do it on time, but I'm going to do my top favorite. Well, I wouldn't even call it top favorite. Just my personal favorite games of last year. 2018. There wasn't really. I don't feel like 2018 was a trash year for gaming, but there just wasn't really. Like, I think last year, I think I even bought more games in 2017. Still sick, by the way. I think last year was the year I bought the least amount of games, and it's like since we've been in this generation. Even in 2014, where it was dry as freak, I think I bought more games in that year too. I don't necessarily think it was just because there wasn't like good games coming out. I just feel like, life stuff going on and stuff like that. I just feel like last year I didn't actually buy a lot of games, But anyways, I'm doing my personal favorite games of 2018, because some people said they wanted to see it. Also probably have to do my most anticipated games of 2019 this year, but I don't even, outside of Kingdom Hearts 3 and like that's really all I'm thinking about right now. So I'm actually have to go back and like look at what games come out this year. I know it's a ton. I just can't think of one. Once I show you my favorite games of 2018, I don't want to suck in the comment section like, how did you not put in this game on your list? Because it's my list, darky. Okay. So my personal favorite games of 2018. Let go. All right. First off, we got A Way Out. A Way Out was easily probably one of the best co-op experiences I've had in years. What's so cool about this is you could buy it, and as long as they have the same system that you bought the game on, you can just send them an invite. Like, they didn't need to buy the game to play co-op with you. I mean, you just don't see stuff like that these days. Like, you buy a brand new game, and then the person you choose to play with, they don't even need to own the game, and you can still have a great experience playing it. Come on now. So I really like this game. The game had a good story, great gameplay. When I streamed it last year, the stream enjoyed it. Like, this is a really good game. This is easily one of the best co-op experiences I've ever played, especially, as of late, So if you haven't played A Way Out, I do feel like a lot of people slept on this game, when it came out, because, we live in a time to where, it's all about multiplayer. A Way Out, if you have not played it, definitely a sleeper. One of my favorite games last year. So if it wasn't for the other three games, this might have been my game of the year. Because probably out of all the games that came out last year, I probably put the most hours into this game, and I'm still playing it. Dragon Ball FighterZ. This freaking game here. It had a bad launch, and because I still remember when this junk came out, I was so pissed off because the launch was horrible. The online was like, it was like so hard to like find games and to actually like stay in the game without disconnecting. This game had a bad launch, but through the updates and stuff like that, this game has easily become one of my favorite fighting games in years. Like, I've put so many hours into this game, and it's a game that's easy to get into. A lot of people that don't play that don't play Dragon Ball FighterZ thinks it's like a button mash game. I mean, technically it is. You can like button mash, and like the combos are like easy to do, but trust and believe, there's a skill gap in this game. Like, seeing someone play this game at like a high level compared to someone that just hopped into the game, nah. Nah, lazy. There's definitely levels to playing Dragon Ball FighterZ. Hopefully it gets a season 2, because we need more characters in this game. It has a great, roster, but of course there's so many characters in the Dragon Ball, franchise that they can really just add like a whole bunch of characters to keep this game alive. It's on PS4, Xbox, PC, Switch. Now it's like damn near on every platform now, So if you want to get into it, it's not too late. people are still playing the game. Out of all the games last year, I easily put the most time into Dragon Ball FighterZ. So definitely one of my favorite games last year. Yes. A lot of you guys don't know this, because last year I wasn't really uploading on my YouTube channel like that. But I finally did get a chance to play Detroit Become Human. I literally played this, I think, back in November. So it was like right before the year, was, coming to an end. But I finally, because I got this on Black Friday, so I was playing it actually like in late November, like early December. And I was, because I remember before this game came out, I felt like the reason why I didn't get this game was because I felt like the 2 demos they put out for this game was just, I don't want to say they were horrible. I just thought they were bad representations. Especially now after beating the game, I thought those 2 demos they put out were bad representations of what this game actually was. I just felt like they could have put in a part of the demo that could have been just way more like fun to play. Those first 2 was just like, I might get this junk on like a sale or something. That's exactly what I did, but Detroit Become Human. To sum up this game with no spoilers, because, I'm sure there's a lot of people that still have not played this game yet. To sum up this game with no spoilers, think about slavery for black people. Replace the black people and put in androids. And you have Detroit Become Human. I kid you not. This junk is literally about slavery. But instead of black people, and like all of the people that have been oppressed throughout history, it's literally androids in their place. And it's just the way they tell the story in this game is incredible, dude. Like literally almost every character in this game, like, you become attached to, or like you really hate those characters. Like you really have strong emotions almost towards every character in this game. I heard this game was good, for the people that did get it when it came out and like people were sleeping on it. But I'm not like a huge fan of interactive games like that. Games like this are like hit or miss for me because it's like, because there's really little to no like actual gameplay. And it's really all based on like the story and characters. If you don't have a good story, well, honestly, even with these games, like you could have a good story, but if the characters suck, it's like, it still kind of feels like, why am I playing this? Because it's like, I mean, yeah, the story's good, but I'm not into these characters. Like, I truly feel like for interactive games, like the story and characters have to be good because there's little to no gameplay, but this game, especially, because this is from Quantic Dream. I'm sorry, because I got a lot to say, because, again, I wasn't really uploading last year like that. This game is from Quantic Dream, and, I also played Heavy Rain for the first time last year. I finally played through all of it and beat it. I didn't get it when it first came out on PS3 because someone spoiled who the origami killer was in that game, and I got pissed off, and I never played it. So then all of those years of trying to shun that a spoiler out of my mind, I finally played Heavy Rain as well. And, some people think that Heavy Rain is better than... I just don't see how. Like, Heavy Rain I thought was decent. And this is... I really don't want to get off track. But again, I have a lot to say because, I wasn't really uploading. Because I also played, Shadow of the Colossus, the remake that came out last year. I played Dead Space for the first time last year. I streamed that on a PC. For those 3 games that I just mentioned, Heavy Rain, Shadow of the Colossus, and Dead Space. And again, everyone has different opinions, but those 3 games were so, critically acclaimed and, almost said to be masterpieces. I heard nothing but good stuff about Heavy Rain. I heard how Shadow of the Colossus was this freaking masterpiece for freaking PlayStation 2 back in the day, and one of the greatest, when people talk about the greatest games of all time, Shadow of the Colossus somehow is always I see it in top 20 top 25, you know. So I'm like, yo, this game must be amazing, but I never got a chance to play it on PS2, you know. Same for Dead Space, like said to be one of the best horror games of all time. I thought all those games were solid. Like I thought all those games were good. I enjoyed those games. But just based off of the stuff that I was hearing, especially for Shadow of the Colossus, and I don't even necessarily think it's the game's fault per se. I think it's a time thing. Like playing Shadow of the Colossus probably back in the day when it came out, like in what? I don't know, 2005 on PS2. I don't know. But back, I'm sure the first time you played Shadow of the Colossus on PS2, because you've never seen a game like that before. It was like, oh my god, this shit is amazing! But if you play it in 2018, it's like, yo, this junk is a climb and hold simulator. Like, literally, that's what I thought Shadow of the Colossus was. Like, it was like a climb and hold mechanical bull simulator, because that's literally what you pretty much do. Like, everything was, you know, going to the new Colossus, and then you would have to find a way to climb on top of the Colossus to find its weak spot, and then hang on while it tries to shake you off. It's literally, that's what the game is. It's a climb and hold simulator, you know. But to hear like Masterpiece and all this, now again, the OST in Shadow of the Colossus, amazing. I freaking loved it. The scale of the game, amazing. I loved it. But the actual game, I'm like, this is not what I expected from all of the praise I heard. So I definitely felt that for Shadow of the Colossus last year. I just think it's kind of overrated. But again, it could be a timing thing. Playing it in 2018, where now gamers are spoiled. Let's be real, you know. And we've seen like almost everything, you know, be done, you know. And I'm sure, you know, playing it again back in 05 on PS2, like Shadow of the Colossus, I definitely felt that for that. Same with Heavy Rain. Like, you know, I just felt like all the praise I heard for that game, I'm like, Heavy Rain, in my opinion, is no way, shape, or form better than Detroit Become Human. I didn't get a chance to play Beyond Two Souls, but I heard that jump was trash. So I don't know, but I might play that later on down the road. And even Dead Space, like I enjoyed Dead Space, and I still need to get to Dead Space 2 because I heard that one was way better than the first one. But even Dead Space, I'm like, I mean, it's good, but this isn't like the best horror game I've ever played. Like, there were some scary moments in Dead Space, but when you just hear especially the first two Dead Space, like, you just hear like it's like one of the best horror games of all time. I was like, not really. That's just how I felt. So again, it could be a timing thing, like just based on, you know, playing it when it first came out compared to playing it like years later in 2018. It's like you might not have the same effect. So maybe that's what was going on with me. I cried at the end of this jump. I literally got the worst possible ending you can ask for. And here's another. This is why my videos end up being so long, because I just cannot like be like bam 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 this, move on to the next point, bam 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 this. Well, no, I have to say everything I'm thinking. I cried at the end of this game. I did that Life is Strange junk, you know. Some thug tears left my eyes, but I actually kind of broke down in Detroit Become Human because I had literally the worst possible ending. It was the most saddest, like, hopeless ending you could ask. I'm just like, and I feel like this is why. There is, and only people that stream will know what I'm about to say, will like understand what I'm about to say, you know. And I've gotten used to it, you know, in ways, you know, but it still comes every now and again. When you're streaming games, especially if you have like, you know, a lot of viewers, you know, and stuff like that, this isn't really for the for the people that like streaming, and it's nothing but Nightbot and Moobot in there just like this is for y'all, bro. This is one of the people that, you know, that actually like has viewers, you know. Hey, I understand. Everyone has to start from somewhere, okay? You keep on doing your damn thing, okay? But, you know, for the people that actually stream and have viewers that watch them, there's this and it's almost like this like subconscious like uncomfortability. I don't even know if that's a word, but there's like this it's almost like this subconscious, feeling of like you feel like you have to like play the game at like peak performance, and if you don't, like, you're going to be because people that stream or do like let's plays, they're already putting their gameplay out there for like other people to watch. So you're going to have backseat gamers, and I've legit witnessed people backseat game, and then I'd be like, okay, you stream, and then they stream and they are horrible. I'm like, shut up, nigga. So it's like a lot of people that backseat game, when you actually like give them that same energy, they cannot they can't handle it. So I'll be like, sucker, shut up, don't tell me nothing. But you already have to worry about getting backseat game and your gameplay getting critiqued. So I still kind of deal with this issue to where when I stream myself playing games, and it used to be way worse, when I first started streaming like in 2014, but every now and again, mostly when you're playing multiplayer games, but every now and again, you don't feel completely comfortable, like, compared to as if you're just playing games in like your own time, lights off, feet up, and you just like relax and playing the game, without trying to be entertaining and engage with the chat and try to look good while playing the game. Like, there's like this it is something that is kind of hard to get over. Some streamers are really good at it, like they just always play like good and like comfortable at all times, but every now and again, and I feel like that's why I got that ending, because it's like sometimes I'll be like, if I was playing this junk in my own time, I would have never done that, but it's weird. Only the people that stream will know what I'm talking about. You're just more comfortable, and I feel like you play games better. At least I personally feel like this. I feel like I'm more comfortable, relaxed, and I play games better when I'm not streaming as opposed to when I am streaming. It's not as bad as it used to be, but there are some times where I just be like, why when I stream I feel like I'm playing retarded? And I really felt like that's why I got the worst possible ending in this game. But I hear there's like 20 plus endings, so this is definitely a game I plan on going back to. Detroit Become Human, if you have not played that, even if you aren't a fan of those interactive point and click games, trust and believe when I tell, if you love games with a great story, fam, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, spins a web anytime, can't do anything but win awards at the Game Awards. Spider-Man came out with no awards, my G. Really? Come on, fam. Like, come on. The disrespect that Spider-Man easily was still one of my favorite games last year. The game has flaws. I'm going to tell you the two biggest flaws that Spider-Man had, in my opinion. Now others, other YouTubers that I won't name, they will swear, put their hand on the Bibles and say, oh, this game was amazing. This game was the best superhero game of all time. Spider-Man, the Screwball, if you do a sequel in Insomniac, which you should, Screwball has to be gone. I don't know who thought of that. That was like one of the most horrible parts of the game. All those Screwballs, stupid behind stuff, it sucked. I know people was complaining, about the Mary Jane, missions and stuff like that. I wasn't really bothered by that because I didn't really, because it didn't really mess up the pacing that much. At times it was like, I have to play with this freaking broad again, but I didn't feel like the Mary Jane, stuff messed it up too much. I like getting away from always just swinging around the city all of the time. So going, actually playing as Peter and doing like those puzzles in, inside the lab or playing with Mary Jane. I thought it was like a nice getaway from always being Spider-Man, but those Screwball missions have to go. Another thing I didn't like about the game was, I felt like a lot of, especially, as you would like play the story was amazing. I thought Spider-Man had one of the best stories last year, and I think the story gets slept on. Spider-Man had an incredible story. Incredible. I thought the story was freaking amazing, you know, especially like the ending and stuff like that. But in between that, they would throw in these challenge missions. I'm talking about a whole bunch would just like pop up on like the map, and I felt like it was like added almost as filler. Like it wasn't like actual substance that made the game better. Like some of the challenge missions were cool and stuff like that, and some of the side missions. But a lot of like the side stuff that you could do, I just felt like they threw it in there just, you know, just to say, hey, we have something else for you. But it didn't really like actually provide like actual substance. That was really, like my only issues with the game. I thought the game was incredible for Insomniac to tackle doing a Spider-Man game. There's been a ton of Spider-Man games, you know, in the past. You know, some good, some bad, some horrible. For them to tackle doing a Spider-Man game on their first go-round, they essentially made the best Spider-Man game of all time. I know some people will still side with Spider-Man 2, the movie game, you know, back on PS2 and Xbox. You know, was it on Xbox? I don't know. I know it was on PS2, but I know some people will still side with that, you know, but essentially, you know, in ways, Insomniac made one of the best, if not the best, Spider-Man game of all time. If they can do that on their first attempt, with all the Spider-Man games that have been tried and done before, if they can do this on their first attempt, of course it had flaws, imagine what they can do on their second attempt, you know, after all the feedback and, you know, stuff that they got from the first one. So I definitely wanted to see them tackle this game again. I think it can be that much better. It's not perfect, it's not flawless, but I just hate how when this game first came out, you had people deep-throating the game, and then as soon as Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, it was like, Spider-Man was trash. And people do that so... Gamers are so fickle. Not just gamers. People are so fickle, dude. They will turn their opinion on you just like that. Like one day they love you, one day they hate you, and it's just like, what did I do? Like, what did I do, bro? I've seen people do that for so many games. Like when the game first came out, it will get praised, worship. Oh my God, this game is amazing. This one, I literally remember people saying that. Like, oh my God, Spider-Man is amazing. I mean, outside of the people being like, my puddles! Where are my precious puddles? Puddle gate! There's no puddles in the game! Creatives. God of War. What else is there to say about this game? The game that truly deserved to win Game of the Year last year. The game was just better than Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's be honest. Red Dead Redemption 2 was good, but it wasn't better than this. I'm sorry, Rockstar fanboys. It just was. Let me stop trolling. This game was amazing, dude. God of War, if you have not played this game yet and you have a PS4, first off, slap yourself. How do you have a PS4 and you still ain't played God of War yet? I do not know how, but God of War, probably the most impressive game. Probably the most impressive thing about this game to me was how they essentially reintroduced God of War, you know, going from, you know, PS2 to PS3 to PS4. They essentially reintroduced the game. It looked brand new as far as like, you know, the different, you know, graphic engine, you know, that they were using and stuff like that, and a whole different, you know, mythology with the game, a whole new take on Kratos being way more calm than we last seen him. Now he has a kid, you know, thrown in, is now on PS4, going from PS3. Even the gameplay mechanics changed. Like it felt like a brand new game, but they didn't get too far away from what made God of War great in the first place. So to me, that was what made God of War such a great game. Like, it was like a brand new, fresh take on God of War without getting too far away from why people liked the franchise to begin with. My only flaw that I can't even call it a flaw because it's just like, it's not even a flaw. It's just, it's almost like an unfair comparison. I just felt the boss fights in God of War 3 were so amazing that they kind of just didn't feel as epic in this one, you know. But now that this game still did have some epic boss fights, but God of War 3 was just like, every single boss fight was just like, oh my God. Like literally back to back to back, all the boss fights in God of War 3. To me, I mean, that's tough. I do think this could possibly be the best God of War game of all time. I might need some more time on that. I still might side with God of War 3 just a little bit, but yeah, the boss fights just weren't as epic. They did have some epic, fights, but for the most part, I don't want to say too much, but then, all those troll, boss fights that you had to fight like 10 or 12 trolls, like it was just like, what do I have to do this time? Let me guess. Let me throw my axe 1,000 times and then take down the troll. That was really like my only issue with the game. Like the actual boss fights just weren't as epic as 3, but that's like unfair because almost no game has had boss fights like that back to back to back to back to back. So, but outside of that, this game was amazing. If you have not played God of War yet, please, you are doing a disservice to yourself. Buy this game immediately. If you have a PS4, every PS4 owner, even if you didn't play the previous titles, I don't necessarily think you have to. You don't have to, but I think it's better if you do. If you play the previous titles, so know what's going on in this one. But I don't think you have to play the previous titles to really understand the whole story of what's going on in this game. Like, it's pretty much Kratos now is way more calm. He has a kid. He's trying to train him, while going on this journey, and stuff happens. Like, that's really it. I don't think you need to have played all the other God of War titles to, get a grasp of what's going on in this game. You don't have to. I think you should, though. Last but not least, Red Dead Redemption 2. You already know, fam. Amazing game. I actually picked this game to win game. This was my personal game of the year. And that was even like before I really got like deep into it. Again, I don't see this video is going to be long because I feel like I got so much to say. In my opinion, and I've said this so many times, I think John Marston is a great character. This is not crapping on the character of John Marston. I think he's a great character, In no way, I just don't know how people think John Marston, especially after beating the main story in this game. There is no way. I don't even think it's a debate that John Marston is a better character than Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan, I'm saying it. Arthur Morgan is not only, in my opinion, one of the best characters of all time. He's easily, as of right now, with all the games that they've put out, is easily the best character Rockstar has ever made. Holy crap, this character is amazing. At first, I win because the dude that voice acts Arthur Morgan, he took best performance, at the Game Awards over Christopher Judge, the dude that plays Kratos in the PS4 version. And I was like, no, Christopher Judge deserves that award. There goes that word again. Deserves. No. After playing this game, I see why that dude took best performance. Arthur Morgan. Holy crap. He is an amazing character, dude. An amazing character. Just his transformation throughout the game and stuff like that. I just don't see how people can possibly... Now, again, I did not all the way complete Red Dead Redemption 1. But I made it more than halfway through the game because I got past the whole Mexico part. That was enough time to see, or like to understand the character of John. Again, this is not crapping on John Marston. I still think he's a good character. But compared to Arthur Morgan, nah. No. Arthur Morgan, in my opinion, is the best character Rockstar has ever done. That's saying a lot, dude. Arthur Morgan is a great, fantastic character, dude. Red Dead Redemption 2. This story was so amazing, dude. The characters in the game, the soundtrack. Oh my gosh. Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't want to say it's the best. I don't know if I'll say it's the best game Rockstar has ever made. I don't even know if I want to say it's the best story. But it might be. As far as stories, it might be the best story I think Rockstar has ever done. Especially just with... If you have not played Red Dead Redemption 2, I know some people have not played this game yet. If you love great characters, beat the game and then tell me Arthur Morgan is not one of the best characters of all time. In my opinion, I just don't know how some people can like John Marston more over Sucker, there will be no John Marston without. This game was freaking amazing from the story standpoint. The online is a whole nother story. Rockstar gets free passes that no one else does. Who else can release a game and you are knowingly only getting half the game? Knowingly. And you have no issue paying full price for it. Let me repeat that again. Who else in the gaming industry can knowingly give their consumers, their fans, a game that is really only half of the content that's supposed to be in it? You're not getting the multiplayer guaranteed for like, what, at least a month. We freaking know how Rockstar works. Well, maybe some people don't know how Rockstar works, because some people were actually shocked when the Red Dead Online, finally came out in beta form. Beta, they just slap on beta just to get away with it being trash these days, and people actually still fall for that junk. It's crazy to me. Maybe I've been playing games for way too long to know, sucker, this is not a beta. This is just what the online is right now. But you're saying beta, so when it's when it's actual trash and people don't like it, you can say it's just a beta. Some people, they just have to get up to date with what's really going on in the industry. This junk ain't no beta. This is the online right now. And it's but I just don't know why people were shocked that Red Dead 2's online wasn't really that good. Have people forgotten how many updates it took for Grand Theft Auto 5 online to get to what it is today, to where people are still playing that game? Do you remember how trash Grand Theft Auto 5 online was? Hell, Grand Theft Auto 4, even though I know some people enjoyed that game, those onlines are not going to be good fresh out the box day one. It's going to take updates. So the online ain't trash, but it's just Rockstar gets away with, they get free passes that almost no other dev can do, and people just be they just completely turn a blind eye. Rockstar's amazing. And in Rockstar's defense, they've made so many great games throughout, the time, and so many quality titles, with great stories, that they've established themselves as one of the best devs in the game. So they can get away with some stuff. So, to their credit, they, have put out, they have put in the work to get these free passes. But at the same time, if we're being fair, no, hell, I don't even think CD Projekt Red could do that. I don't even think Naughty Dog, as much as people love Naughty Dog, I don't even think they can knowingly give people only half a game and be y'all get the online in about a month, and no one says nothing. Only Rockstar can do that. So just saying, there's a lot of Rockstar deep throaters out there. But those are my personal favorite games of 2018. Let me know what were y'all personal favorite favorite games of 2018. And yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in my next one. All right, peace.